My name is Geke van Dijk, and I'm the founder and co-director of Standby. And we're based in Amsterdam and London. We have a studio in 2 places, and I divide my time in both places half-half. And Standby is specialized in design research, and we work on projects which you could describe as service innovation. So for clients who are working to innovate their services, and part of that process is to do design research to find out what matters to the people they offer their services to. For instance, a project we recently finished and that won some awards, so it's already publicly out there, is for the National Railway Company in the Netherlands, who were interested to find out how they could improve their services for clients on the platforms. And we helped them, not only us, but with a whole group of collaborators. We worked on 2 major innovations. So one on really, let's say, dynamic information. What train is coming and how do you find out where it's stopping on the platform? Where will the door be? And is this first class or second class? And is there actually seats in that coach what I'm waiting for? So we developed a screen above the platform and an app, so people are much better informed with actual information rather than with projections that may not be actual. So we did the research. We found out that that was a major improvement that clients would appreciate. And after a lot of prototyping and testing, we validated it. And the travelers indeed said, yes, we like it. But also for the clients, it was a very successful business case because it makes the going in and out of the train much more efficient. So it saves you money, actually. It doesn't just cost you money. And those are the best service innovations, when it works for all parties. In your work, you often commit to things. So you passionately believe in something, and that means you're loyal to that thought and you want to put the best of your energy into it. And you can find out that it needs to change. And there have been a few, over the years, there have been a few moments. So for instance, when I first, not my current business, Standby, but I had another business before, which we started with friends, just coming out of university, all freelancing and discovering, I think with 6 of us, let's just hire the studio together and we'll all chip in. And then we started to work more together, so we became a company. And at a certain point we realized, or I realized with one of my close colleagues, that the speed was different of us, of developing ourselves, and the business needed to go forward. And it wasn't possible in that constellation. It was more like a collective rather than a business. And that was a tough choice. We enjoyed it, but you saw that actually for yourself, the speed needed to be different than from others. And so it was a tough choice to say, well, let's change it again. So I decided actually to leave the company and to say, okay, it's not going in the speed I want, but maybe set up together with that colleague. And that ended up with a whole conversation with the 6 of us, and then actually us buying everybody out and continuing the business. And that's a tough thing to encounter. But and also because you're actually stopping what you started together. But I think it was for the best for everyone, because we just found out that we were not there still with the same agenda, let's say. So it was good, but it was tough. I could say follow your heart, but that's not true. You have 2 hearts then. You have a heart which is loyal to what it is and what you cherish together, and you have a heart where you want to go. But I don't know. Follow your intuition. And a few years later, we sold it, which again was like a decision of, oh, what's happening here? But also there, I think the main decision was to really almost your gut feeling. Is this a good thing or not? Basically, you see a tough choice, but you think, what do I really want? What will really make me happy? And you know already. Yeah. So I think that has strengthened me in taking intuition seriously. We often see that it's very difficult to predict where that innovation is really taking place in an organization. It's not always in a boardroom. It's not always in a certain, like the IT department or the marketing department. It's usually a certain personality of people who are just banging on that door and often changing things no matter what, and then getting the attention of management, and being sometimes pulled out of the operations and said, okay, we'll invest a little bit in you. We'll just see what happens. I'm not sure if that's a tough choice, because I think it's actually quite natural. But the organizations who are able to identify that and to give that some space are the ones that I see that are successful in doing it, rather than the ones who on paper it all is there is this department and there are these people, but not the right innovators are actually doing it. So the innovators could be somewhere else in the organization. But I'm not saying that it's just that, because you can have the best innovators, but everything is dampened by not getting the right permission to do things. Also, then nothing happens. But it's that combination, definitely. If you work in innovation, for something to happen and to go right, a lot of things need to be tried out. So it's quite normal to work on maybe 20 pilot projects and 20 concepts and prototype testing, and maybe one or two in the end might be really implemented as you developed it, and then another 10 are sort of dissolved into other things. So you can't actually say, oh, this is what I contributed to. Like the train project is super nice, because you say, we developed this, we tested it, we roll out. But often it sort of dissolves its knowledge and understanding in the organization, and it will be used in different places. And some of it may peter out. So that's part and parcel of innovation, actually. And I wouldn't call that failure. That's part of it. I think I would be naive to think that every concept we contribute to should be implemented and brought to market for it to be called a success. I don't think that's actually the case. It can be successful if they really understand something better and use that understanding, or if they really change something in the organization. I really, really like it when it's what we call open innovation, where an organization is really reaching out to not just do this closed off R&D, we have this department and everything is secret, and then we make something and we patent it, and then nobody can use it. So we are more in the field which is called open innovation, where organizations are really saying, we want to reach out to either partners or our consumers, or our target audience, to have empathic conversation and to learn. And that means you need to open up a little bit, but you get a lot back as well. Traditionally, in non-open innovation, that's within your company, and you have a dedicated department who does innovation, and it's secret, and your agenda is very strongly, you are looking for ideas and concepts to change things in, let's say, a canvas that you know. We are this organization, this is what we deliver, and this is the type of technology we use, and this is the type of products we have. With open innovation, you try to also start innovation projects where you broaden up the field. You said, well, maybe we are not even the ones who are going to bring that to market, but we might develop it and then sell it to someone else. Or we might look at what else is going on in the market, and somebody else might be experimenting with something that might surprise us. So let's open up and collaborate, and we may bring it into our field. Or even you look at a completely adjacent field. So you might be in, I don't know, the food sector, and you're looking at education to see if there's any way of working that you haven't thought of. So you are really branching out to find gems that wouldn't come out of the very structured, focused way of working. And that means you have to sometimes be a bit generous and open up and to share with people, because then you get something back, or something be a bit wild and say, let's invest a little bit and see what comes out, and be prepared to also discard things. But in let's say the practice and theory of open innovation, it has been proven that even some things that you decide not to continue, you might still be able to sell it, because it might be a very good idea, but not for you. So it's not always an investment that goes to waste. So it's a broader radar. And I think maybe, talking about leadership, it probably needs different leaders as well to do that, to feel comfortable with that. If you're really wanting to do innovation, you can't predict everything. And sometimes you work with people who feel more or less comfortable with that. And if you're uncomfortable with uncertainty, you might stop the innovation by questioning things all the time. So I see, and that's the profile of innovators who are quite confident usually and quite curious. So it might be that you have in a project team some people who are actually quite anxious about it or insecure, and they tend to lean towards certainty and facts-based stuff and more. And it's a way. And we are in the design research field, so we do a lot of research, but it's we call it's descriptive research. So we go out and we find interesting things in the world that we report on. People who tend to be fact-driven and security-driven, they tend to favor prescriptive research, because they want to know what's the best market segment and what's the best route to success. And that is counterproductive for the exploratory phase. Wow.